Hi, welcome to TOneAcademy. In our last sessions, we have seen the problems from the profit and loss. Now, in this session also, we will see the some other models, especially if two articles were purchased for the same price or for the different sold for the same price. There is one set of questions from this concept. We will look after those questions now. Okay, now see here. A shopkeeper, generally we will solve it in two different methods, students. One is the traditional method and the other one is simple and shortcut method. We will see. A shopkeeper sold two radio sets for 792 each, gaining 10% on one and losing 10% on the other. Okay. Then find his gain or loss percentage. Now students, actually in this type of questions, this number is just for what we can say is to confuse you people. No need of that number. Without the help of that number itself, we are going to solve the problems. We will see it. Okay, on one he gained 10% and the other he lost 10%, right? If you see the traditional method, on one he is gaining 10%, right? So usually what is the relation between selling price and price? We will write SP is equal to 110% of CP. That means what? 110% of CP is equal to 792. 110% of CP is equal to 792. What is 100% of CP? Assume it as some x. So what you will get here? 792, and if you cross multiply it, 792 into 100, that is equal to 110 into x. That is equal to 110 into x, right? Very simple. So now what happens to this one? 0, 0 get cancels, 11 ones, 11, 7s, 2s. So x value what you will get here? 720. That means one article's cost price is 720. Good, superb. Now we will see the another article. What they are telling, and he lost 10% on the other article, right? So that means in that case what you will write? SP is equal to 90% of CP. Am I correct? Why? Because loss. If there is a profit, we will take it as plus. If there is a loss, we will take it as minus. So SP is equal to 90% of CP. So here also the same thing. 90% of CP is equal to 792. Okay. 100% of CP is equal to what? If you calculate this one carefully, you will get this as 880. Simply cross multiply these, students. You will get here this value as CP as 880. Now see here, what is the total cost price? We will use this portion also for timing. Anyway, the other method is very simple. We can easily get the answer. Now see here, one article's cost price is 720 and the other article's cost price is 820. What is total CP? Tell me for me here. Total CP becomes what for me here? 880 plus 720. It will become 1600. And what is the total SP? What is the total SP? We will get 792 into 2, right? Why? Because each one was sold for 792 rupees. So 792 into 2. What you will get here? 1584 rupees. 1584 rupees. Profit or loss? Definitely loss. Why? Because he spent 1600 and in return he got 1584. So loss by how much? 16 rupees. So 16 by total cost price is 1600 into 100. 2 zeros, 2 zeros and 16, 16. So overall what we will get? 1% loss. 1% loss. This is the traditional method to solve this type of problem, students. Okay, but we have a shortcut method. What is that shortcut method? Means please see here, initial and final. We will take the help of our percentage concept. On one he is gaining 10%, right? 10% means what? 1 by 10. Gaining means more. So initial value will becomes 10 and final value becomes what for me here? 9. Okay, good, superb. Sorry, gain, right? 11, 11, 11. And the other he is losing 10%, right? So 10% means what I can write here? Same 1 by 10. That means initial 10 and final it is 9. Final it is 9. Now please observe here, students. The sale price of both the articles is same, right? Now please observe the fractions here, 11 and 9. So our first goal in this type of questions is we need to equal these two parts. Why? Because sale price is equal here. So in order to equal these two parts, what I need to do is this one. I need to multiply this with 9 and I need to multiply this with 11. Simply exchange these two values. So my first value, what happens to my first value? It becomes what in this case? 90. Why? Because 9 into 10, 19. This will become 99. Next 11, what it becomes? 110. And this becomes what? 99. Right? Now we are on both together, we are telling profit or loss, right? So we need to add the initial price. That means cost prices and the selling price. cost price and the selling price. So, what is the overall cost price here? We will get 200, and what is the overall selling price here? We will get 198. Overall cost price is 200 and overall selling price is what? 198. Now tell me profit or loss? Definitely loss. Loss by what value? 2. So 2 by 200. Why? Because the actual price into 100. So what you will get here? 1%. 1%. So my suggestion is, please try to understand this concept. Anyway, we will see later. There will be a formula to these questions, but in general we should not rely on formula. Sometimes we may remember the formula or we may forget the formula. So you should know the shortcut method and the traditional method and formula method. All the three we will see for this concept. This one is the traditional method, by finding the cost price and adding those cost price and finding the selling price and all those things. Anyway, here they are asking us the final gain or loss percentage. So no need to worry. Simply calculate this one. Okay, now we will see the next problem. A man bought, now directly I will solve it in the general method or the shortcut method. A man bought 2 housing apartments for 2 lakhs each. He purchased both of them for 2 lakhs. That means cost price is 2 lakhs. We will not bother about the 2 lakhs. Next, he sold one at 20% loss and the other at 20% gain. Now see here students, 20% loss. 20% means what? 1 by 5. So initial and final. Initial will become 5 and final will become what? 4. Why? Because loss. Next, the other 20% gain. 1 by 5 is the same 1 by 5, 5 and here what you will get here? 6. Why? Because on the other he is getting gain. Now, what is my total cost price? Students, these two are two different articles. I need to add them to get the total cost price. These are initial cost price and these are final selling price. Now, see here. In this case, earlier case both were sold for the same price, right? In this case both were purchased for the same price. Now make sure that these initial values are equal in this case. Luckily in this case both the initial values are equal by default. So I need not to do any operations here. But in some cases if they are not equal, students, first of all equal them values. If cost price are equal, make cost price equal. If selling price are equal, make selling price equal. Remember this one carefully. So 5 plus 5 what it is? 10. Here also 10. Now tell me, he spent 10 rupees and in return he got 10 rupees. Whether it is a profit or loss? No profit or no loss. No profit or no loss in this case. No profit or no loss in this case. Okay, understood? Now, please observe carefully. What is the difference between our previous problem and this problem? We should know that difference. That is very, very important. In this case, the selling prices are equal. When the selling prices are equal and on one if you getting this X percentage of profit and the other one you are getting X percent of loss. Remember this one, the same percentage. X percent profit and X percent loss, definitely you will always get a loss. Remember this one, you will always get loss. You will always get a loss. Remember this one very, very carefully. If selling prices are equal, if SPs are equal, okay, and on one X percent profit and on other X percent loss, the same percent, please be careful. Here if it is 20 and if here it is 10, that is not the case. Definitely both the cases, in one case he should get X percent profit and the other case he should get X percent loss. X percent loss. Then what we can say is, there will be a loss, always loss, no need to worry, there will be always loss. Okay, loss by what percentage means? X square by 100 percentage. Remember this one, this is the formula, X square by 100 percentage, X square by 100. What is X in this case? 10 percentage. So 10 square means what? 100 by 100. 100 by 100 is what? 1 percentage. That is the reason I told you, right? With formula also we can solve. X square by 100% loss. Always loss only, and that loss will be equal to X square by 100. X square by 100. That loss will be equal to X square by 100. So remember, if selling price are equal, and in one case if you get X percent profit and X percent loss, in the other case, then always you will get loss, and loss by what percentage means? X square by 100 percentage. Now similarly, now come to this case, if the cost price are equal, okay, if CP is equal and on one you get X% profit and on other you get Y% loss, then always there will be no profit or no loss in such cases. There will be no profit or loss in such cases. Remember these two things. Okay. For example, if the values, the percentage changes, X% and Y% something like that, then in that cases we will follow our basic or the shortcut method to get the final answer. Understood? Now we will see our next problems. Now see here, a man sold 2 watches for 1000 each. On one he gains 25%, on the other he gains on the other 20% loss. See here students, he sold the 2 watches for 1000 rupees, good, superb. Now on one he is getting 25% profit and the other he is getting 20% loss. See here the percentages are not equal, that means X%. If they are equal, we would have directly written always loss. But in this case what? They are not equal. So please be careful, we should solve this one. With the help of formula, we are not going to get the answer. So we should solve this one. So initial and final. So on one he is getting a gain, right? Gain of what? 25%. 25% means what? 1 by 4. So initial value will become 4 and final value becomes what? 5. Gain, increase. Next on the other he is getting a loss of 20%. 20% means what? 1 by 5. So initial value will become 5 and final value becomes what for me here? 4. Loss, right? So subtraction. And here in this case what? He sold 2 watches for 1000 each, right? That means the selling price are equal. But what about the selling price here? 5 and 4. So first of all, please equal the selling price. How you can equal means simply multiply this 4 here and this 5 here. Then obviously they both will become equal. Now what happens to my first value? It will become what? 16 and 20. And what happens to my second value? It becomes what? 25 and 20. 25 and 20. Now please observe here, what is the sum of these two? 41. What is the sum of these two? 40. Now it is very clear. Whether it is profit or loss? Loss. Loss by what value? 1. So percentage of loss will become what for me here? 1 by 41 into 100%. So the loss here is 100 by 41%. If you further solve it, what you are going to get? 218 by 41%. What is the further value you are going to get? 218 by 41%. Like this you can solve the problems by using the simple shortcut method with the help of our percentages. Remember this one. Next one, see here, Ramesh buys 2 books for rupees 410 and sells one at a loss of 20% and the other at a gain of 25%. If both the books are sold at the same price, find the cost price of the book. Okay, now see here students, they asked finally the cost price. Here the value is important for us, but before taking the help of value, we should come to some conclusions. See here, if both the books are sold at same price, right? They clearly mentioning that both the books are sold at same price. And on the one book he is getting 20% loss and the other a gain of 25%. So the same thing, initial, final. On one book he is getting 20% loss, so 20% loss, 20% means what? 1 by 5. Initial will become 5 and final becomes 4, loss, subtraction. And the other is getting a gain of 25%. 25% gain means what? 1 by 4. 25% is equal to 1 by 4. So initial value is 4 and final value becomes 5. But please observe here, both were sold for the same price, right? So these two values should be equal. So I will multiply this with 5, I will multiply this with 4. Next 5 5s are 25, 5 4s are 20. Next 4 4s are 16, 5 4s are 20. More or less the last problem only, but here there are some additional things. So what is the total? Here I have 41 and here I have 40. Right, now see here, cost price of the book. Okay, now I need to find the cost price of both the books. I need to find the cost price. Now see here, he buys both the books for what price? 410 rupees. He buys both the books for what price? 410 rupees. That means one book is 25 parts and the other book is 16 parts. Overall, what we came to know, 41 parts is equal to what? 410 rupees. 41 parts is equal to 410 rupees. And now first book is how many parts? First book is how many parts? 25 parts. So 25 parts becomes what for me? 250 rupees. And when it comes to my second book is how many parts? 16 parts. So 16 parts becomes what for us here? 160 rupees. So if you understand the concept, you can solve the questions very easily and effectively. Okay, next one. A man sold 2 steel chairs for rupees 500 each. He sold both of them for 500 each. On one he gains 20% and the other he loses 12%. How much does he gain or lose? Okay. Now he sold both for 500 each. Now they are asking us what is the overall gain or loss percentage which he got. So on one he is getting a gain, right? Gain of 20%. That means what? 1 by 5 initial and final. So 5 and 6, good. On the other he loses 12%. Loss is what? 12%. 12% means what? 12 by 100. We don't know the exact value. 12 by 100 for instance we will take. So 12 by 100 which in further becomes what for us? 3 by 25. 3 by 25. Am I correct or not? 3 by 25. So initial will become 25. Final become what? 22. But please observe here. He sold 2 steel chairs for 500 each, right? That means their sale price is equal. That means the final price should be equal. So how I can equal these two values, students? What is simply multiply this one with 22, multiply this one with 6. So what happens to my first one? 5 22s are 110, 6 22s are 132. Next similarly 25 6 are what you will get? 150. Am I correct? 25 6 are 150. Next 22 6 are the same 132. 132. Here sale price are equal. So overall it will become what? 260 and overall this becomes what? 262. Profit 264. 264. Profit or loss? Definitely profit. He spent 260 and returns he got 264. So what is the profit he got here? 4 by 260 into 100. 4 by 260 into 100. 0 0 get cancels 2 times and 13 times. What you will get here? 20 by 13. 20 by 13. Approximately this will become what? 1.5% gain. Approximately this becomes what? 1.5% gain for us here. Okay. Solve this one. You will get the answers. Okay. Next. A man purchases 2 watches at rupees 560. He sells one at 15% profit and the other at 10% loss. Then he neither gains nor loses. Find the cost price of each watch. Now please observe here, students. From the options also we can get the answers for this question. See, the man purchased 2 watches for 560 and he is getting neither profit nor loss. That means what? He will sell for the same 560 rupees. So please observe the options. Add which 2 options you will get the sum as 560. That is your answer. Luckily here there is only one option, that is option C. But in general this will not happen. There will be multiple options whose sum will be 560. Then how we are going to solve those questions means, see here, he sells one at 15% profit and the other at 10% loss, right? On one he is getting 15% profit and the other is getting 10% loss. Now please try to think in that manner and try to get the answers for this type of questions. Okay. Now we will see what will happen for us here. So 15% loss. We will see the shortcut. First of all, we will see the lengthier process and then we will go to the shortcut. Okay, why? Because these are very, very important questions for us. Now, a man purchases 2 watches for 560, right? Both the combined cost price is 560. I will assume one watch for X and the other obviously will become what? 560 minus X. I will think that on this he is getting a profit of 15% and on this he is getting a loss of 10%. Loss of 10%. So what I can write now? 15 by profit of 15% means 115% of X. Am I correct? Profit of 15% means 115% of X plus loss of 10% means what? 90% of 560 minus X. The selling price of both of this should be equal to 560, right? Why? Because he purchased for 560 and he sold for same 560. No profit, no loss. So this is the case. So now solve this one. What you will get here? 115x by 100 plus 90 by 100 into 560 minus x, that is equal to 560. that is equal to 560. If you want, you can put the same values or try to solve it. If you solve for x, what is the value of x you are going to get in this case? X value you will get here, it is 336. Solve for x, you will get the answer. No need to worry. Solve for x, you will get the answer. Now, please observe here, what you will get here is a simple concept. Right? Understood? If you solve it on 1, if it is 336, what about the other value? X you will get either 336 or 224. We don't know. Why? Because that answer is 224 and 336. So, solve in this one, substitute in this, you will get the answer very easily. Solve for x, you will get the answer. Either you will get 224, if one is 224, the other becomes 336. Now, we will see the shortcut. On 1, he is get a 15% profit, right? 15% profit. So, initial and final. So, what you are going to get initial value as 20 and final value is 23. Why? Because 15% is equal to 3 by 20. And next on the other is getting a loss of 10%. So, loss means what? This will become 10 and this will become 9. This will become 10 and this will become 9. Now, see here students, he is getting neither profit nor loss here. He is getting neither profit nor loss. That means the sum of these two should be equal to the sum of these two. The sum of these two should be equal to the sum of these two. So, first of all, we will find their sums. What it is 30, what it is 32. How I can equal these two sums? Tell me. How I can equal these two sums? How I can equal these two sums? This is 30 and this is 32. I need to equal them. I need to equal them. So, for that, what is the LCM of 30 and 32? What is the LCM of 30 and 32 you will get here? 30 parts should be equal to 32 parts. 30 parts should be equal to 32 parts indirectly. So, to equal this, now tell me what I can do here. Take the LCM of 30 and 32. What you will get? Okay, 480 is the LCM. 480 is the LCM. Now, that means what I will need to do? I need to multiply this with 16 and I need to multiply this one with what? Some other value. So, when I multiply this with 16, what I will get this one? Please observe here. 16 480, right? So, that means I need to multiply the above two values with 16 individually. One will become 320 and the other one will become 160. Am I correct? 320 and 160. Here also the same thing. I need to multiply with 30, 16s. Yeah, 30, 16s. Okay, 480 you will get. So, multiply this one values, you will get the answer. You will get the values here, the 16 parts and 320 and 160. Okay, overall you will get. So, 580 parts should be equal to 560. So, from this you need to find what is 320 parts, okay, and as well as what is 160 parts. What is 320 parts and 160 parts? If you find that 320 and 160, you will get the same 336 and 224. Okay, next one, we will see the next one. Next, a man bought a horse and a carriage for 3000. He sold the horse at a gain of 20%, the carriage at a loss of 10%, thereby gaining 2% on the whole. Find the cost of the horse. See here students, this type of questions is purely from option verification, is very easy for us. See here, for example, the cost of the horse is 100, means horse cost is 100. Then what happened? Sorry, 1000. What happens to the carriage cost? It will become 2000. Why? Because for both of them he purchased for what? 3000. Now, the horse he got a gain of 10%, means he will sell it for what? 1200. 20% of 1000 is 200, so 12. On the carriage he got a loss of 10%, means what? He will sell it for what? 1800. He will sell it for what? 1800, sorry. So, what is the overall selling price he will get here? 3000. So, here no profit, no loss. So, that 1000 is not my answer. If I think that he purchased horse for 1200, then what happens to the carriage? It will become 1800. It becomes what? 1800. Okay. So, indirectly what? Now, what is 10% of horse which we have? 1. On horse he is getting a gain of, right? So, 240. This will become what for me? 1440. That means the horse was sold for what? 1440. And in the carriage he is getting a loss of 10%. What is 10% of 1800? 180. So this will become what for me? 1620. Now add these two things, what I will get here overall? I will get 3060. I will get 3060. Profit or loss? Profit. Profit by how much? 60. That means 60 by 3000 into 100. 2 zeros get cancelled, 31s, 32s. That means here we are getting a gain of 2%, right? So that means our answer for this one is 1200. 1200. See here students, for some questions we should go with the option verification. That is the best method, and these are those questions. If we go in the standard method, what we will think is horse price as X, then what happens to the carriage price? 3000 minus X. On horse he is getting a profit of 20% means 120 of X, plus on carriage he is getting a loss means 90% of 3000 minus X. This value will be equal to what? Overall a gain of 2%, right? So what is 2% of 3000? 60. So this will be equal to 3060, or else 1 or 2% of 3000. You can take anything. You need to write this equation and you need to solve this one. So instead of that, if you are really quick in calculations, go with the option verification. Right? Like this, we are having the different problems in our concepts. Along with this, we have the dishonest shopkeeper case and some of the miscellaneous concepts we will see in our next session. Thank you.